welcome back, friends. 7 days after Parliament attack and 24 hours after more than 100 MPs were suspended from both the houses, there seems to be no end to the showdown. The suspended MPs continue to protest against their removal from the House, crying foul. Meanwhile, and yet another controversy has now triggered a massive political storm. It is the shocking mocking of Vice President's limitations. The BJP is hitting out. The opposition is saying there's no need to make such a hullabaloo of an unharmful act. Was it really that unharmful? Did it actually end at mimicking, or it had some rancor? Listen into these reactions and then I come back with a panel of guests to discuss.
I didn't want to hurt anyone. And it's no, please, it's a one type of art. One type of art.
क्यों आप ऐसा बात करते हैं? हम तो रेस्पेक्ट करते हैं सबको ना. ये डिसरेस्पेक्ट का कोई बात नहीं होता है. इसको जस्ट पॉलिटिकली कैजुअली आपको तो पता भी नहीं चलता अगर राहुल जी वीडियो में तो छवि नहीं तुलता तो.
हर आदमी अगर अपनी अपनी जाति के लिए किसी विषय पे अगर बोलते हैं तो मेरे जाति को इफेक्ट हुआ तो मेरे जाति को तो हमेशा इफेक्ट होता है. मुझे तो बोलने नहीं दिया जाता है. मैं जो सवाल उठाता हूँ उसको उत्तर नहीं मिलता.
ये बार बार संविधान पे पद पर जो है ऐसे लोगों को अपमानित कर रहे हैं. पहले तो 20 वर्ष तक प्रधानमंत्री जी को अपमानित किया क्योंकि वो गरीब फैमिली से आते हैं, ओबीसी के हैं. बाद में राष्ट्रपति को अपमानित किया सर. राष्ट्रपति को अपमानित किया. ये ट्राइबल वुमन है सर.
All right, welcome back again. Joining me, Tom Vadakan, spokesperson of the BJP, live from Delhi. We also have George Kurian. He's a political analyst, leans towards the BJP. We have Mr. Dharan, spokesperson of the DMK. He's joining us live from Chennai. And I would want to begin with Trinamool Congress leaning, Anubrata Roy, political analyst. Anubrata, you think, I could have called it theatre of the absurd, but it could be branded as unparliamentary. So I'm saying, is it theatre of optics that the opposition has really chosen now because it seems they have no political answer to the BJP? Anubrata, are you getting me? You have to unmute yourself, Anubrata, if you're getting me. Can you unmute yourself? And then... Anubrata, are you getting me? Can you unmute yourself? Because we are not able to hear you. I think we lost Anubrata there. So then let me go to our DMK representative on the panel, Mr. Dharani Dharan. Very good evening to you, Mr. Dharani Dharan. Is it really becoming a theatre of optics, given the fact that politically the opposition and the alliance have really no answer to the BJP? So that's why they are opting for this kind of theatre of the optics.
Really, do you think so? Firstly, thank you for having me in the show, but actually, the opposition has not done anything wrong whatsoever. The parliament...
Mr. Dharani Dharan, are you getting
was
me?
compromised. Yes, I'm getting you, I'm talking to you. So by good luck, when security was breached in the parliament, nothing untoward happened. Yep, but what if the gas was poisonous? Most of the parliamentarians' life would have been in danger. How could two people enter the parliament and come out and throw gas canisters? How is it possible? And when question was asked on the same, the BJP was not willing to discuss. And then instead of suspending the BJP MP from Karnataka who gave these two people passes, you are suspending the opposition parliamentarians who are asking questions. Is the BJP that is paranoid because they don't believe in democracy, they believe in tyranny? It's a totalitarian regime. Never before in history of Indian parliament has 150 parliamentarians been suspended. After suspending them, you're passing some very important bills such as the 1960s amending of the Police Act, which deals with IPC, etc., etc. And then you're also giving them Hindi names which I can't even pronounce. Hindi is not the national language of this country. How is it How
Very
brazen
sorry,
is
Mr.
this?
Dhankhar, I
You pass
just
bills
couldn't
within
get
seconds
you.
without
I
discussing.
think there was some
Parliament
audio
is
issue
the
there.
case.
Let me go to
Going
Mr.
towards
George
short
Kurian, who
time.
leans towards the Congress. I correct myself. And
Thank you.
Mr. Kurian, the Congress party, both inside the House and outside, seems to be really looking for ways to find its voice and existence. In the India Alliance, we have seen what has happened over the last 24 hours. It's a ragtag, turning into a ragtag coalition. Is this the best way really to deal with the BJP juggernaut, creating pandemonium, ruckus, and not let the House in order, which makes the government carry out the kind of action which actually presents a bad picture for us, for the citizens, for the rest of the nation, and for the rest of the world as well, if I could say?
Well, first of all, Abhishek, very good evening to you, to my co-panelists on the show, and to your audience. Let me make it very clear for your audience that this is not, the united opposition is nowhere trying to demean or disrupt the House as far as the function of the House is concerned. The opposition is at the same time, getting a feeling that the federal structure is at a big question mark as of today, and the way the parliament is functioning, the procedure of the parliament is functioning at this point in time is a threat to the constitutional democracy at this point in time. And I strongly believe that all the bills are getting cleared and passed without any discussion and deliberations at this point. So it really raises a big question mark, and it's an unprecedented kind of a situation that the country is going through at this point in time. Question mark, and it's an unprecedented kind of a situation that the country is going through at this point in time.
Please go ahead. Please continue. Please continue before I go to the BJP.
See, Abhishek, as I said, what the country is witnessing at this point in time, the opposition is careful about they are not actually doing any indisciplinary action, holding of placards or questioning the House and the chairman, to ensure that the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, should come to the floor of the House and give a statement.
That was the trigger. They carried placards. That was the trigger because an understanding had been reached in the Business Advisory Committee meeting, both between the Treasury and the opposition, that something like holding of placards would not be allowed, would not be done, and there was consensus, so to say. And in fact, it's bad because bringing in placards shows that you came prepared. It's almost like a guilty mind. You came. It's evidence that you came prepared to disrupt, and that's why the government had to take the kind of action they took.
Well, Abhishek, it's a very legitimate, question that the united opposition had towards the ruling dispensation and the Treasury benches. So I really don't feel, every action has an opposite reaction, and what we are witnessing at this point in time is really unprecedented, so to say. And as I said, the united opposition is always ensuring that the House is in order, and they follow the procedures of the House. But after having demanded the chairperson and the Rajya Sabha chairman and the Speaker of the Lok Sabha for statement from Home Minister, and it is being uprightly rejected. So this is what the opposition felt at this point in time to raise their demand.
Okay, it's not very convincing. It's not very convincing, but still, let me take this to Tom Vadakkan because he represents the ruling party and the dispensation. Mr. Vadakkan, you think this is the best way out? I mean, it's bad optics even for the BJP. I mean, it sort of gets bad press. It attracts bad press, not just within India, outside also perhaps.
Well, let's look at this. There has been an attack on the temple of democracy, and investigation is ongoing. And what is their demand? That the Prime Minister or the Home Minister makes a statement in the House. Well, very well, if it was a simplistic situation where they could go on record. When you have an investigation in progress, and there are perhaps some inputs indicating certain fingerprints of certain political parties, then the Home Minister and the Prime Minister have ensured that they are very careful in what they say before coming into the House, because everything there goes on record. Now, if there is the situation, what is the objective of the opposition? They want to create a narrative. And what is this narrative? They wanted to create a narrative that the Prime Minister is not speaking, the Home Minister is not speaking. This was the same narrative, you remember, on Manipur. When finally things came to light, the Prime Minister spoke, the Home Minister spoke. The entire opposition party, led by the Congress party, walked out. So the game is the same. Now their intention is to create a narrative that there is anarchy in this country. And if there are footprints or fingerprints of these opposition parties and that comes on record, it will be very extremely disturbing for them, especially during an election year. So the Prime Minister and the Home Minister is maintaining due caution for making any pronouncements in the House. So let us wait for the investigation to be complete. Now, as to the question of suspension, this is a self-invited blue card situation. When you play football, you suspend people because they have, not gone by the rules. Here, the situation is who or somebody has taken a decision that you violate the laws of Parliament.
Playing football versus parliamentary democracy?
No, let me complete this. You play the game to ensure that these people are suspended. So you grab headlines. So the narrative is very clear. They want to create a situation. They wanted to create a situation. There is anarchy in this country. When an investigation process, you need to, and especially when it is a sensitive issue, as Parliament, you should all cooperate. Instead, when the games are being played of getting out of Parliament and grabbing headlines. This just won't do. People of India have grown matured, have matured out, and they know exactly what this game is.
We lost the audio there again with Mr. Vadakkan. I'm told.
And they know exactly what this game is.
Okay. Let me understand from Trinamool leaning Anubrata Roy. Now he is connected. Whether this is games people play. Anubrata, as Mr. Vadakkan was saying, there has been a breach of understanding. The opposition, like it has done earlier in so many cases, does not wait for the right time for the Prime Minister or the Home Minister to speak, like we saw in the case of Manipur, for example. You know, the opposition disrupted almost entire session last time on the issue of Manipur, and when the Home Minister actually got up to speak, the entire opposition was missing. They walked out. It was not suspended. So whether suspended or walk out, opposition essentially presents a picture as if they are not really interested in letting the House in order and for the people to see how it functions or how the democracy functions beautifully. You are basically interested in creating this pandemonium and ruckus so that you can just get away with it. That's what the picture comes out of last 4 or 5 sessions that we have seen House not being in order, both Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, and the opposition just creating pandemonium in the well. Look, earlier today, BJP Member of Parliament Hema Malini said that the opposition is being suspended because of asking too many questions. So asking too many questions is creating ruckus in the Parliament. What? And the mockery, my other significant other is telling that the significant opposition is telling that the ruckus is created by the opposition. So already the speaker, the Lok Sabha speaker and the Rajya Sabha speaker respectively are creating the ruckus. They are mocking their own guidelines. They are mocking their own guidelines by directly helping the ruling party BJP and the NDA alliance. Isn't this mockery? Isn't this creating any pandemonium? Like Om Birla earlier a week ago suspended Mahua Moitro over a situation which is not even proved yet. Isn't this mockery? Govt Dhankhar, the respected Vice President of India, the Speaker of the Rajya Sabha, this suspended Derek O'Brien. Isn't that mockery over a situation that it wasn't even had a role in him? Derek O'Brien wasn't even present at that time. He was suspended
without any proof or evidence. And it was totally created by the BJP officials who were in charge, and their government was suspended. The suspected people are making the ruckus and pandemonium, and they are basically shooting where they are shooting at the opposition. Isn't this creating a pandemonium? Isn't the ruling party created the pandemonium?
No, Anubrata. You see, Hema Malini might not have felicity with the Hindi language, maybe, but the point is that the disruptions have begun with the question hour. This is Parliament of India. Conventions, processes, procedures are set in stone. And there is a question hour, there is a 0 hour. There is a private members' day on Friday when members can bring in their own legislative agenda on the floor of the House. Remember, there is a way to ask questions in Parliament. But
what is the point of bringing an agenda when the higher authorities,
elementary constitutional democracy? But
the higher authorities was sitting on the pillar of democracy. They don't know how it works, how it functions, and they are giving lessons to the opposition. What is the point of this?
Okay, Tom, would you want to respond to this? That it is how was Mahua Moitra's suspension fair? How was Derek's suspension fair vis-a-vis the mass suspensions? So basically, what the TMC seems to be saying is that this is a trend. This is not a one-off thing. It is not, the trigger is not placard. This is suspension getting ingrained in the system.
The case of Moitra is a case of apples and oranges. I mean, there is smoking gun evidence in the reports that have come in from the committee. And if there is any indication or doubt, I would request the TMC panelists to go and examine the report. And there are affidavits to establish many facts. So what has happened there is another issue. Now, as to the question of Derek O'Brien, what the cameras of in Parliament have shown is they've shown his presence there. So let's not say that he was not present there and he's suspended in midair. So let's not contest that. He's what I would use in Parliament. He has not been suspended, but he's a chronic offender. He has been doing all this. It's okay in a quiz competition, he can ask questions very dramatically, but this is Parliament. There are certain etiquettes to be maintained, and drama theatre is not one of the things that are appreciated in Parliament. We are taxpayers. We fund the parliamentarians there, and this is not time to waste.
Mr. Dhankhar wants to get in.
Yeah.
Can I come in?
Yeah.
See, I want to add on, right, to my TMC.
Wants to get in. Mr. Dhankhar, just to add, before you respond to Tom, I have to just add, be it the Pegasus issue, be it the Hindenburg issue, be it the Rafale issue, be it the Manipur issue, be it the Mengai issue, every time, there might be something or the other, but then the opposition modus operandi is absolutely same. Carry placards, come to the well of the house, troop down to the chair. So, I mean, how was this time different?
Yeah, see, to add on from my TMC spokesperson, I like to say that DMK parliamentarian representing the constituency of Salem was suspended when he was not even in the parliament, when he was in Chennai. That itself is wrong, and it was pointed out, and then nothing was done regarding it. But again, I like to say what Sushma Swaraj, BJP parliamentarian in 2012 said, and like also the former minister, she clearly said, not allowing parliament to function as a form of democracy like any other form. When BJP was disrupting the parliament during 2012, when she was asked the question, why are you disrupting? She said, not allowing the parliament to function as a form of democracy like any other form. I will say what Arun Jaitley said, parliament's job is to conduct discussions, but many a time parliament ignores discussions. So we have to use obstruction, which is this is in favor of democracy. Parliamentary obstruction is not undemocratic. Did we suspend BJP parliamentarians then? Go from 2004 to 2014, none of the BJP parliamentarians at max.
Sushma Swaraj and Arun Jaitley getting quoted in support of disruptions.
That's all. Now 150. And you want to pass bills.
This is not the issue.
Both late
walking out of parliament.
BJP stalwarts getting quoted in support of disruption, Tom.
I think there's some communication gap here. This is an issue where...
Why this hypocrisy? I'm saying they're being hypocritic, that's all. When you were in the opposition, you used to disrupt and say disruption is a form of democracy. Now you say opposition is being irresponsible. How is it fair? Any democracy,
can I speak?
Is allowed. Right? Dissent is allowed. Dissent is democracy.
Dissent, yes.
Democracy.
But when you walk out and you don't listen to the Home Minister and the Prime Minister after asking for discussion, what kind of a dissent is that?
What is the point of listening to the Home Minister when he is trying to prove a political vendetta against the opposition?
Then why do you walk out? Tell him that. You can stay in the house and listening to the Speaker. But why do you
What is the point of listening to the Home Speaker?
When he's
unfortunately, it seems, both sides.
What is the point?
Both sides. Unfortunately, I've run out of time. Both sides seem to be choosing theatre and optics over substance, because this is something which ideally in a healthy democracy should have been sorted within committee rooms, between the treasury benches and the opposition, between the parliamentary affairs minister, leader of the house, and the respective leaders of the opposition from the two houses. But then it seems that the opposition is really not getting it. Ideally, between the assembly results and these suspensions, the opposition could have got united, but it has not. It lies in fracture, as we have seen in the India Alliance meeting yesterday. That's something which opposition should be pondering going into the general election cycle as we come to the end of the winter session of Parliament in the next 2 days. Thank you so much, friends, for joining us.